Welcome back to Take Two. When a couple decides to separate or get a divorce, it can be challenging for children, not the actual act, but more so the way parents behave. Joining us now with more, including tips for couples who may be going through this, is psychologist Dr. Alana Coffey. Good morning, welcome back.
Good morning.
First of all, it's not easy at all, but there are things that parents can do to help the kids out. So first, what should parents, I guess, not do?
Fight. Number one, don't fight. And you know, these are very common. So we've got like 40 to 50% or more marriages ending in divorce. It's a very common kind of a thing. Unfortunately, it's become normal. So we're seeing a lot of effects before, during, and after of these divorces. And the number one thing, as you are asking, is please, parents, don't fight. It's very difficult on children to see. Many children will go to school and their classmates have divorced parents. It's not the divorce that's actually the challenge per se. It's the way that the parents are coming apart. And that means like verbal fighting, of course, physical fighting. If a child witnesses, you know, like physical fighting, and something is seemingly small as a push or blocking of an exit, that's very aggressive to a child. So it's very difficult for them to watch these kind of conflicts.
And what I've noticed is kids, they're very observant and they see everything, they absorb everything. So even if you think they're too young or they don't notice, they really do.
They have the biggest ears, these people. Like, if you can't hear them, that's because they're listening. But they hear things. And so we might think we're just talking to our sister or a mother, but they're, you know, like just listening, and they're taking all that information in. So we also ask parents to be very careful about the things that they're saying, even inside of the house. Just be very mindful of where their children are, because we don't want children to have all of the details, the salacious details of why these adult people are coming apart. And you know, I'll sit with an 8 or 9-year-old, and they sound and look like they're 19, and they have information that only belongs to 29-year-olds. Yeah, so they're listening and watching.
Now, also on this list of no-nos is no alienating and no estranging. What do those mean?
Right. So these are not my terms. These are terms of art, so you can look them up online. And they're difficult to prove in court. But alienating, for example, that's when one parent either naively or deliberately attempts to estrange or distance their child from the other parent. So that is done by gestures or speaking. Sometimes they, you know, say information, talk stink, actually, about the other parent, and try to make themselves look like the preferred parent. And in the worst cases of this, we have children that are afraid of another parent without just cause. And that's, of course, very, I think, you know, on par with a type of abuse. Whereas estrangement is when a parent does it all by themselves. They estrange themselves from the child by either being mean, disrespectful to the other parent or the child, not having a lot of empathy or warmth, not being available. I'm hearing a lot of kids complain that their parents are, you know, on their screens, right? Because parents are also hurting, so they're playing games or talking to friends, so they're not always available to the kids, and that's a type of estrangement.
Okay, on the flip side, what can parents and couples do to help kids through this difficult time?
Right. Put their own feelings on the side and watch to see what the children need. So Kids First, we've got a great program in town called Kids First. It offers a lot of information, but really pay attention to the children, and not all children are the same, so they need to pay attention to the different needs of the children. But I would say, you know, first of all, please be respectful of your child's other parent. Even if you don't like your ex-spouse, and that's typical because that's why people are coming apart, but to please be respectful of your child's other parent, and be flexible with, you know, schedule. I know parents spend a lot of time and money coming up with plans of, you know, separation and custody and things like that, but, you know, some things happen, things go wrong, there's traffic. Please be flexible and respectful of those things. Now, I've got a couple of kids, and we have one household, and they can't find their shoes in that one household. So please be flexible with, you know, 2 household children losing soccer balls, backpacks, math books. You know, it's hard for them to keep track of things.
Right.
So don't scold them so much for that. And especially if we have families who are using grandparents and aunties also for assistance. Kids have 3 houses sometimes.
Right.
It's a lot. So
be flexible, and I like, of course, make a schedule and routines. I mean, that goes with, I think, for any family, whether they're together or separated. Kids really need to stick to a schedule, and something to look forward to that they can expect, especially if you are going through a divorce. There's all these things happening, changes happening. If they have some kind of routine that they can stick to, I think that gives them a sense of normalcy. But of course, if you need more help or more advice, there are resources out there. You can talk to your therapist, mediators, even just family members.
Neutral family members.
That's right. Neutral is a key word. All right, thank you, Dr. Coffey. Always a pleasure.
Welcome.
Great tips.